Welcome back to Beauty Bears All podcast with your host Emily Stiles.
Hello, my lovely people. So it's been a little while. And that makes me feel like saying shoulda gave you a dope beat to step two. It's been a while. Anyway, that's my ADHD. But here we are on Beauty Bears All, and I am back with you all after a little while of a break, and not on purpose. Of course, I wanted to bring you guys content and everything, but appointments that I had scheduled and interviews with people just didn't pan out. There were scheduling issues and things like that. And then I was traveling, and then when I was traveling, I had gotten sick right before, so I couldn't do shows before. I couldn't do shows there because then the person I had scheduled to do the thing with, my bestie, she had other things come up. So just one thing after another. Then when I returned home, it was to ultimately close my salon. So yeah, you're on Beauty Bears All, where this beauty professional is bearing it all, and it's sharing all kinds of things: the good, the bad, the ugly, the indifferent, the ins and outs of this industry, the cutthroatness, the customers, good and bad. I have been in the industry for about 20 years, and you know what? All these speech people and motivational speakers are like, you can't use words like and this and that and blah blah blah. So I apologize for that. I have been in the industry for about 20 years now, but even before that, I had always loved hair and makeup and fashion and beauty, just all things decorating. I can take something old and make it new. I can make stuff sparkly, and I like to joke and say I do things bougie on a budget. That's my niche. That's my strength. I can help you succeed, put an outfit together, decorate a space, do all kinds of things on a budget. Now, if you want to do it on a unlimited budget, I can also help with that. I can facilitate that. But in all seriousness, this industry is changing, okay? And it's not just coming from myself, it's coming from other people in the industry, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. It just depends who you talk to. So, for the people that own these exquisite salon suites, like Phoenix salons and all that, they are doing very well because beauty professionals, barbers, nail techs, eyebrows, permanent makeup, massage therapists, like all kinds of freelance professionals are able to rent a space out. I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with this, but you can rent out a space 100, 150 square feet, 300 square feet, etc., at a weekly price, and also depending on the company or the facility that has the salon suites or these suites available, you will be paying for a year, 3 years, or 5 years. From what I gather from most people that I've spoken to that have that type of setup, most of them are 5 year plans. Now, I get it that they need to guarantee their income, but a lot of people don't know what they're going to do in a year or 2 years. So many people locking themselves into a commitment on a 5 year lease. It's pretty standard in commercial practice, but it's very difficult for a beauty professional because you just don't know, because the industry is just always fluctuating. You could do super, super well, like amazing. And then there's other people that are a little more timid and they're not going to approach people, or maybe they don't have the same customer service style and what have you. They're not people I don't know, a people person. So that was a tongue twister for me today, and never is that a tongue twister, but it was today, so my bad. But so it really just depends on you as an artist, as a stylist, as a barber, and whatever, as a professional in our industry. So it depends on you how much money you make or how little money you make the days that you're going to work. So when you get into a suite, you have to step it up because you have to make sure you have a client base. So you're not going to get a suite or a beauty business if you don't at least already have a foundation of a client base, right? Because you need to know that you have at least a minimum of X amount of money coming in every month. So what's been happening in New Jersey as of around the time that I opened my business in 2020, my second salon, these salon suites started taking over. And not only did they start taking over, we went through COVID. And so the salon suite took off because that's just the best salon situation. You don't want to be working with other people who can possibly get you sick, get your clients sick. So guess what? I want my own individual, basically cubicle. And these are basically cubicles, nice cubicles, right? But they're salon suites where you can service your clientele in your own little space. Now, for me, they're claustrophobic-ish. To each his own. They have some beautiful ones. The larger they are, the more expensive they are. So to me, it kind of didn't make sense for me to go from a 1,000 square foot space to 150 square foot place and paying approximately the same thing, maybe saving $600 a month on my rent, maybe $600. Some of them are renting for $400 a week, so you're talking 4 weeks in a month. Let's say the weeks that, the months that are 4, sometimes almost 5 or what have you. So you're talking 4 weeks minimum in the month is $1,600. So if you do that kind of math, I was paying about $2,300 just for the space. Now that doesn't include, you need business insurance, you need to have your utilities and everything. You're going to pay for all those different things. If you need business insurance, most of the time you're going to get a minimum of a 1.2 million, a 1 million, 2 million coverage. You're going to have to get workman's comp, whether you have employees or not. If they're all freelance and you're freelance, then you can probably get away from that. Now, if you're an LLC, you have LLC dues. A minimum fee of $750 if you're going to pay an attorney, or you can do it through LegalZoom, but you need to know what you're doing. You're going to need a website. You're going to have to pay for said website. And if you don't know how to build a website, you have to pay for someone to create one for you. You need to market. You need to have easy, convenient credit card terminals, or, Square or Clover. You're going to have to find all these things and come up with all this stuff. So it was, to me, a better idea to have a full-on salon and have employees come and work, or freelancers come work. But New Jersey had made it up until this year, January 2012 to be exact. It was illegal to rent chairs, although I know they've been renting chairs out forever. That's been a standard thing that most people in this industry knew was happening, regardless whether you said it or not. We knew it was happening in barbershops specifically, and even some nail places and some hair salons. We knew people were renting out spaces and they were paying $150 a week to $250 a week for a chair. So you do the math. That's anywhere from $600 to $800, sometimes $1,000 a month just to rent a chair. But what happens if you don't make money that week on a slow week? What happens if you're in a salon suite and you don't make enough money? You still got to pay that rent. So I feel like overall, the salon suite industry has changed how beauty salons are currently running and barbershops. I have so much to share in the next clip with what is really happening, and what I've been seeing. The trend in New Jersey is ridiculous of what's happening in the industry. So this is part 2. The good, the bad, the ugly. So let me tell you what's been going on. I have been watching for the last 2 years salons closing left and right, maybe even 3 years. Ever since the salon suites came on, salons have been closing up. Why? We don't have anyone to fill the seats. And if we do, they're not really happy to be there. And so most of these stylists are either working from home, they're working freelance, they're working a full-time job, and some of them even are renting salon suites. Now, just last night, I was scrolling Facebook Marketplace because I also had listed my salon for sale. I didn't have it listed for a very crazy price at all. Turnkey, come on in, do this, that. And I figured it would be ideal for someone that already has clientele. I had people calling and contacting me, asking me to keep my license there for them because some of them only had 3 years, that they had 3 years that they needed me until they can, they're legally. So in New Jersey, you're allowed to open a salon as a cosmetologist, provided that you've been working for 3 years minimum in the beauty industry. Now that doesn't make sense anymore because the students, ever since COVID, have not had to take the full on exam that we had to take. We had to go through a vigorous process. 2005, 2006 is what I'm talking about, circa 2006. And so for myself and everyone who went to school during my time or in the same type of predicament, most of us had to do hands-on with a model for our state test. So that was our practical. But now they have omitted that. You don't have to worry about the practical. So now for them to require only 3 years of working in the salon before you open, I kind of think that it should be pushed back to 5 years, because you made us all jump through these hoops, and now you have anybody and everybody opening up places, and then they're closing because no one's able to make ends meet anymore. And it sucks because most beauty professionals, I've noticed, have had to go into the medical field, and they have had to go and do other things. And this is just their side hustle, their extra money, because this is not enough for people to eat. And not only is it not enough, we also don't have the safety net that most corporate jobs have, where you have the big umbrella where you can share your benefit expenses and your life insurance and all that. You get all these different perks, even if you're paying into some of these things. Some companies, it's $12 a month, and you have legal aid. And like, that's how I was able to do my LLC, because I had a full-time job when I first opened. So I used my legal aid from the company and I got a discount. It was able to save me, I think, $500 on legal aid. And I was able to get an attorney to put my LLC together. And also, as a matter of fact, I remember I was able to get my will put together for free. That was included in my standard fees. And I guess if you were going through divorce or you needed any legal advice, you could pick the brain of an attorney. So there's a lot of perks of working with a big umbrella, which we do not have. Now, for the longest, I said, well, what are we going to do? The industry has changed. My good friend is an amazing makeup artist and hairstylist, used to go to the city, work on Fox 5 News, Channel 4 people, celebrities, America's Next Top Model, doing stuff like all the time, photo shoots left and right. And even for him, he's shared with me that the industry has changed, and he's been hired and requested at these nice salons. He's tried in Livingston. He said didn't work out in Livingston. For those of you that do not live in New Jersey, is a neighborhood where you gotta have some deep pockets to really own a nice home in that area. $1 million plus. I'm sure you can get something a little less, but it would be considered like meh. So most homes are probably 1 million, 1.5 and up. And Short Hills, that whole area is money. So if you think he went to go work in that area, and the salon that had him working for him, he says they were charging a lot of money to their clients, but they weren't paying the staff. So they were keeping, I want to say it wasn't even 50%, which is standard in a salon where it's 50-50 with the owner. And sometimes it's 40% to the stylist, 60% to the owner. These are typical commission splits. sometimes 60-40. The stylist gets to keep 60, 40% goes back to the business. So if you're charging $700 in that affluent area and you're only getting a fraction of the cost, like you're not really making a lot of money. And this is me sharing the ugly of this industry. There are a lot of salons that take advantage of their staff, and also the salon suites have also changed the way we work in this industry. We have a lot of people working independently. They no longer need a salon because they have their clients and they can do their own thing, which is, it's fine. But the problem is that a lot of these salons that counted on having these stylists working with them are no longer able to do so. And then I think the stylists are also getting a shit end of the stick because they have to still pay whether they have clients or not in the suite. And on top of that, like, you still have to sign a contract to be at that place. And if you mess that up, you may not be able to rent in the future at another salon suite. So it's really a catch-22. So not just to think that I'm talking out my ass, I'm going to share right now. I've got here right now, currently as of September 7th, 2025, according to Biz Buy Sell, 39 hair salons and barbershops are listed. On businessbroker.net, 42 salons. On BizQuest, 28. Across the major marketplaces today, New Jersey shows roughly 30 to 40 plus salons for sale depending on the site. That's a moving target, but it is a good proximity for seller activity in the state. And it says here, My Salon Suites, what we have in New Jersey. We have 15 New Jersey locations in Englewood, New Jersey, Glassboro, Rockaway, Howell, Marlton, Hamilton, Marketplace, Jersey City, Old Bridge. And then we got the Phoenix Salon Suites. There's 9 of them in New Jersey. Sola Salon Suites, multiple sites. We have Talk Track Salon Suites are everywhere now. We've got how many? Suites are scaling. Let me see. We have about 740 plus Sola only. Just that one company, Sola Salon Suites, 740 plus in the US. According to this, I was talking to chat and I asked chat to give me the information. Give me the stats. I want to see how many. Now, this is just what chat found here last night scrolling on Marketplace on Facebook. I looked up at least 12 in about 20 minutes, 12 barbershops or hair salons for sale in New Jersey. And I want to say maybe one of them was in New York. So between New York and New Jersey, this is a major problem that is changing the way we do business. Not only that, I was also asking chat because since COVID, a lot more content has been put out there and people are learning from influencers how to do their hair, how to do their makeup, and etc. And now most people don't really need us in the beauty industry. They can just go to their favorite influencer and they'll know what's trending and they don't really need us. And that's a hard reality for the beauty industry. So let's continue. We have social and do-it-yourself changing behavior. Now we've got here eMarketer. As of January 2025, stores will lead discovery overall, but social media is a number one digital driver, especially for Gen Z. Cosmetic Design says in 2024 of November, 45% of consumers now pick YouTube as their first stop when searching for a beauty product. A beauty product. At-home services and devices keep rising. The home use beauty device market is forecast to surge from 17 billion in 2023 to 92 billion by 2030. So that's 4 years and a few months away. That's not that long. 2030 sounds like ages away, but it's really not. It says YouGov on August 2025 hair care survey, only 9% of US adults report using salon treatments as part of their regular hair care routine. Most routines skew home based using directional stats for do-it-yourself momentums. Sally Beauty Supply in 2025 continues to highlight strength in at-home color demand. They position themselves as the leader in pro hair color at home. Then you have Talk Track. Clients don't just see trends on TikTok and YouTube. They learn techniques there. That's fueling at-home coloring, nails, and skincare devices. Sweets captures pros who want independent do-it-yourself captures clients between appointments. So between the Sweets and the online influencers, we're going through it. Here we go. Today I'm seeing 30 to 40 plus New Jersey salons listed for sale on major sites. Meanwhile, sweet brands are blanketing New Jersey like My Salon Suites with their 15 sites. And Phoenix and Sola have multiple sites across North, Central, and South Jersey. Why stylists move? Low startup risk, then a build out 24/7 access. Keep more of the ticket price. Pick your own product lines, etc., etc. These are the benefits. How clients move. Moving through YouTube is the new beauty search engine. About 45% are there. Social is the top digital discovery channel. Home devices and do-it-yourself routines are normalized, from root touch-ups to LED masks. What's thriving salons to do next? So now it's coming up with crazy shit, right? Now we have to do these 1 hour massages on the scalp, the Korean beauty head spas. Like, that's pretty cool. But now we have to be pros at that stuff. Like, I'm sorry, my hands hurt already from doing color and everything. I don't know that I want to do half an hour to 1 hour spa scalp stuff. I've never seen that in my life, and now it's become a huge thing. They're charging about $135 for this service. Maybe now it's become a little bit more reasonable, but there's a lot going on. You know, Hand and Stone has their packages. So when I started getting massages about 5 years ago, I also got a membership because I said, I'm on my feet all day. I work really hard. I'm going to get a massage monthly or a facial, depending on what I wanted. So I had signed up. $59.99 wasn't too bad. I'm like, I spend more money on crap that I don't need. I'm like, I should treat myself. And that was part of my taking care of myself. But it's almost $90 now. And I'm like, I don't need the membership that badly. Now you can go to Groupon, and Groupon, don't get me started on Groupon. Groupon does not help the beauty industry because you already have to set the bar high by making sure that you do very well when these people come into your business. But on top of that, they're coming in because they got a discount online. So they expect you to go above and beyond, and they're only paying, right? Because Groupon takes 50% of whatever your price is. So let's show you an example. If you regularly charge $50 for a haircut, right? Let's just say, but now Groupon is involved. So you want to promote that $50 haircut on Groupon. So guess what? Groupon, for using their platform, is going to take 50%. But now, if you choose to put a limit on how many of those services you can sell through Groupon, let's say you want to cap it at 25 of those services at $50. Now, Groupon decides, you know what, they're not selling as well as I thought they were going to sell. So now I'm going to choose, not you and I, but Groupon as a corporation. They're going to decide that, you know what, we want Emily to sell more of these packages. So we're going to take them down a notch. And guess what? You thought you were still going to make your $25 off of this, but now you're lucky if you get $20 for this, because now they've lowered the price again. They did this to me when I had a customer already buy a hair and makeup package. Let's say the hair and makeup package was originally $150, right? For hair and makeup, that's a great deal. Now, I got half of that, $75. And then Groupon decided they were going to lower it again. So I think I may have gotten $59.64 for that transaction. You know the amount of work that goes into doing a full face of glam makeup and a beautiful wash with the blowout and waves and curls, Hollywood waves. That is not something that I do in 20 minutes. That takes a good hour and a half, maybe two, right? From start to finish. And that's doing it very nicely and also quickly so that they're not there all day. And Groupon wanted to pay me that because they decided that, you know what, Em, you're not selling enough. So we're going to lower the price again. So one woman had pre-purchased it already. So she bought it, let's say in July, she bought it and paid the $150 for it. But Groupon decided they're going to lower it again. And so because they chose that, now they're giving me a different price. So, but did they give the customer back their dinero, their money? I don't think so. So Groupon has also been something that some people say, oh, it's amazing, it's great, but doesn't really help. And girl, don't get me started on freaking The Knot and Wedding Wire. I was paying $200 a month, and you have to do a contract of a year minimum. I think they also have 2-year packages, depending. Now it's probably at $300 a month. I think it was because they wanted me to renew and I couldn't. And then they said, well, do you want to just stay on one of the platforms? Why don't you stay on Wedding Wire? Because it seemed to have worked best for you. So I said, you know what? I will do just the Wedding Wire. So that was on sale from $200. They said we can do it for $150. So that was to not even be on the top few pages. That's to be like still in the nosebleed section, and you're lucky if they see you. So a lot of the marketing, I'm not knocking these places, but for what we do, unless you have a shit ton of clients that you're going to get from it and you're okay with losing money because you just want heads in your place and bodies in your spot, then you do what you got to do. But when you have a reputation and you take pride in your work, you buy quality stuff, you do not want to sell yourself short. And these are some of the issues that you will find in the beauty industry. And that's me. Beauty bears all with the ugly in the industry.